Hey there, lifelong learners, students, and professionals. Welcome back to another episode of The Study Formula, where we unravel the science behind effective learning. I'm your host, Paige Martin. Let me ask you this. Have you ever spent hours poring over a textbook only to feel like you've absorbed absolutely nothing? Trust me, you're not alone. In fact, research shows that a staggering 80% of students struggle with retaining information after their initial study session. What if I told you there's a technique that could revolutionize the way you learn and help you master any subject with ease? Today, we're diving into the Feynman Technique, a powerful, science-backed strategy that can transform your study habits and boost your comprehension. We'll explore why so many people hit roadblocks when learning and how this technique can clear the path to mastery. By the end of this episode, you'll have the tools to break down complex topics and truly make them your own. So let's get started. Alright, let's kick things off by addressing a common scenario. You've got an exam coming up, or maybe you're diving into a new project at work. You read the material, highlight like crazy, but when you close the book, it feels like your mind is a blank slate. Sound familiar? This is where the Feynman Technique comes in. Named after Richard Feynman, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist known for his ability to explain complex concepts in simple terms, this technique is all about deep understanding rather than rote memorization. The Feynman Technique is built on 4 straightforward steps. First, choose a concept you want to master. Second, explain it in simple terms as if you're teaching it to someone else, a child perhaps. Third, identify any gaps in your understanding and go back to the source material to fill those gaps. Finally, refine your explanation and use analogies to simplify further. Let's break this down with a real-world example. Imagine you're studying the concept of photosynthesis. Start by jotting down everything you know about it as if you're teaching your younger sibling. You might say, photosynthesis is the process by which plants use sunlight to make their food. As you explain, you realize you're not quite sure how sunlight is converted into energy. That's your cue to revisit the material and clarify the steps involved, maybe even using diagrams or videos. Once you've got a grip, refine your explanation. You could say, photosynthesis is like a factory where plants use sunlight as their raw material to produce energy, similar to how factories use resources to make products. This analogy not only simplifies the concept, but also makes it memorable. The beauty of the Feynman technique lies in its simplicity and adaptability. Whether you're tackling quantum mechanics or learning a new language, this method scales beautifully. Here's a practical tip for incorporating it into your study routine. Allocate 15 minutes of your study session to apply the Feynman technique. Not only does this reinforce what you've learned, but it also reveals areas that need more focus. Another strategy to enhance the Feynman technique is to pair it with spaced repetition. By revisiting the material at intervals, you reinforce your understanding and improve long-term retention. Imagine building a wall. Each study session adds a brick, and over time, you construct a solid foundation of knowledge. Now let's talk about the mindset. It's easy to feel frustrated when you don't understand something right away, but remember, learning is a process. Be patient with yourself. Encouragement is key. Celebrate the small victories. Each gap you fill is a step closer to mastery. So there you have it, folks, the Feynman Technique, a powerful tool to help you master any subject with confidence. By breaking down complex ideas into simple, teachable concepts, you're not only understanding the material better, but you're also paving the way for lifelong learning. Remember, the goal is not just to learn, but to understand deeply. As you go about your studies or tackle new challenges, I encourage you to try the Feynman technique. Reflect on what you've learned today and think about how you can apply it to your current learning endeavors. Before we wrap up, I'd love for you to share your experiences with the Feynman technique. How has it helped you master a subject? Reach out to us on social media or leave a comment wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for joining me on this journey to better learning. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep learning. Take care.